Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports Show. On this Tuesday, we've got a full slate of MLB on this evening. Excited to talk some sports with you. We got some rants ahead, some research ahead, and of course, your questions that we're going to answer across all of our platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and of course, Instagram Live. Wonderful to have you guys with us. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. We are a sports content company in which we research sports trends, data, stats, looking at everything we can to try to give you guys good advice on your sports betting picks, your fantasy plays, and of course, allow you to win your sports arguments with friends, family, or people you just come across in daily life. We are not related to any sports book. We do have a couple sponsors here, but we're not a sports betting app. We're not a sports book. We just love doing our research, and for those that want to put those towards picks, we completely understand. With that said, we will be doing our research for all of the MLB games this evening, so write your questions in the comments section. If there's a game that you care about, if there is a player prop bet you want us to focus on, make sure you get your questions in, because that's what we're going to be doing over the course of the next hour plus, is answering your questions, doing some research, and ranting about what's going on in the sports world. Wonderful to have all of you guys with us. A couple of rants will be on the horizon, including the addition of Bronny James in his press conference to the Lakers. We'll talk about that a little bit. Some NBA free agency. What are my takes on that now that the dust is starting to settle on the first few days of NBA free agency? And of course, we have football on the horizon tonight. HBO's off-season Hard Knocks with the New York Giants gets underway. The trailer for it looks outstanding, in which we get a glimpse of how the Carolina Panthers actually were the ones who let the Giants know that Brian Burns was available for a trade. Can't wait to watch that tonight on HBO. Certainly something we'll be focused on, and something we'll be watching this evening. So let us know what you guys are going to be focused on. Let's do some work, though. We're going to kick off our show by looking at the first pick of the day, or the first question today, goes to Diego, the honor of the first question. Diego is actually asking about the last game of the evening, Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Right now, 97% of the tickets are on the Dodgers to win this game. A lot of trends are obviously going to back the Dodgers, but here's one for you. On Tuesdays on the road, the Diamondbacks are actually 5-1. They are the second best team in terms of winning percentage straight up on the road on a Tuesday. Maybe that matters, maybe it doesn't. They're 4-2 on the run line on a Tuesday under that scenario. Kind of interesting. Dodgers at home on a Tuesday so far this year, 4-1 straight up, 3-2 on a run line. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. We'll dive into it though. Diamondbacks on the road, first game of a series, 4-9 straight up, 4-9 on the run line, and the under is 10-3. So the under has been a very strong play, as well as kind of fading these Diamondbacks. When the Diamondbacks are on the road, first game of a series against a NL West opponent, a divisional game, they're just 1-3. Their only win came against the Padres back on June 6th. Let's take a look at the Dodgers side of things now. Dodgers at home, first game of a series so far this year, only 7-6 straight up, not nearly as good as we'd like them to be. 5-8 on the run line, over slightly better at 8-5. How about when that's against a divisional opponent, an NL West opponent? 2-2 straight up, 3-1 on the over, 2-2 on the run line as well. Starting pitchers for this one, Bobby Miller on the mound for the Dodgers. Let's just jump on over and see how he's done at home so far this year. When Bobby Miller's been on the bump for the Dodgers, just one start, one win, so at least at home, only one start, winning that one. He is facing Ryan Nelson tonight. Ryan Nelson, so far this year, when he's pitched on the road, Ryan Nelson 1-5 straight up. He did get a win in his last start. That came against the Nationals on the road. But prior to that, Ryan Nelson was 0-5 on the road straight up. As for the run line, 2-4 overall. Really quick, I'm just curious to know how he's done when in his previous start he recorded a win. Under that scenario, it was previous start. was a win. So, when the Diamondbacks won the previous start that Ryan Nelson has made, they are 0-4 straight up, 0-4 on the run line. First pick that we're going to put up on the board for today, I'm taking Dodgers on the money line. So to answer Diego's first question of the day, we're taking Dodgers on the money line. First pick we're putting up on the board. For those that are new to the show, we do research based on your questions, try to help you guys out with your picks, your fantasy plays, or just get the most out of your sports viewing experience every day. If you do want to check out the research that we're doing live on the show, make sure you jump on over to our YouTube stream, Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. That way you can see every pick that we're making. Daryl Turner, so great to see you. Great to have you watching the show. Opinions on Rockies under White Sox money line. Marlins, we're just going to try and break that one down. Dante, happy Tuesday to you, one of my favorite viewers. Daryl Turner, though, D. Turner, happy to have you with us. Let's just focus on one of those at a time. So we'll focus the first one on the first game of the evening that we're going to focus on right now is Pirates and Cardinals. Pirates and Cardinals, you're focused on the under. So let's just first look at that game. Pirates and Cardinals, right now, money's coming down a little bit. Right now, 80% of the tickets are on the Pirates, 69% of the money. A little bit more money coming down on the Cardinals than the tickets. As for the run line, Pirates getting a bit more love. Under is getting a bit more love in this one. 41% of the tickets are on the under, but 50% of the money. That's certainly something that we have our attention on. And the fact that D. Turner brings it up, happy that you're calling that one. Very, very interesting. Now, let's take a look at the line movement on this game. It opened at 8.5, came down to 8, has been as low as 7.5, and has since climbed back up to 8. By the way, the Cooper, thanks so much, buddy. The Cooper movie, appreciate you. So the total has been moving down over the course of the day. Kind of interested by that. First things first, let's just take a look at how these two teams have done under the scenario that they have. When the Cardinals have been on the road on a Tuesday so far this year, if it matters, 5-3 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. Pirates, three and three straight up, 3-3 on the run line. Now let's get into the Cardinals. Cardinals on the road, first game of a series against a division opponent. They're just 1-2 under that circumstance. On the road, first game of a series regardless of division, 8-5, so they've been better overall under that scenario. Cardinals have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, but specifically we're focused on the under. 7-5-1 towards the under in first game of a series on the road against a division opponent. The under's 2-1. Going back to this, how they've performed under certain circumstances regarding the day and location. When the Pirates are at home on a Tuesday, the under is 4-2. When the Cardinals are on the road on a Tuesday, the Cardinals over's 4-4. Take of it what you will. When the Pirates are at home, first game of a series against a division opponent so far this year, under 2-1. So the under continues to be a good play across the board on this. Just answering D. Turner's question. Let's jump on over for a moment and look at the starting pitcher, though. Mitch Keller. When Mitch Keller's been on the mound for the Pirates so far this year, not only are the Pirates 11-5, the under's 9-7. Again, you heard that correct. Mitch Keller, Pirates are 11-5 straight up in his starts, 10-6 on the run line. When Mitch Keller pitches at home so far this year, 5-2 straight up. And the under is 5-2 as well. Love seeing that. So the under, strong play based on what we're seeing. Now, Pirates are a favorite today. When Mitch Keller's been a home favorite, 3-1 straight up. Under is 3-1 as well. Let's just flip it over to the other side. Kyle Gibson. How have the Cardinals been when Kyle Gibson's been on the mound? So far this year, 7-8 straight up. Under is the stronger play for it. When Gibson's pitched on the road, 4-3 straight up. But again, the under, 4-2-1. How about when he has pitched on the road as an underdog so far this year? Under's 3-2-1, 4-2 straight up, 4-2 on the run line. Here's what I would say about it too. The question we got from Daryl Turner, I like the under in this one. I understand why you're taking it in that direction. It's right now set at 8. Let's just quickly look at one other thing before we move on. Let's just see how the Pirates have done when the total has been, let's say, under 8.5 and they're at home. So total under 8.5 and they're at home. Under those circumstances, under is 14 and 12 rather. Wish that were a little bit better. When they're a home favorite, 9 and 9. Not as great as we would like, actually. How about when it's set exactly at 8? 6 and 4, 4 and 6. I like that underplay. I think that is a strong idea. I'd move it slightly. I'd buy it up to where it was originally set. I take the under 9 personally. I'll put that up on the board. I'll take Cardinals and Pirates under 9. Under the 8.5 I think is a perfectly fine play as well, but I'll prefer the under 9. As for the weather in that one, just because we're looking at every piece of research we can get our hands on, weather suggests the under actually. So I'm willing to play it under 9 if you're looking for maybe a parlay play. If you're looking for a straight up play, under 8.5 should be okay. The weather, likelihood of home runs down 22% according to ballparkpal.com. Wind should be blowing in Pittsburgh, in from center field, should not be homer friendly. Likelihood of runs down 3%. I like the under 9 for that Cardinals and Pirates. If it hits the 9, I'm at least at a push. I'm not willing to take the 9.5. Feel like I lose too much value if I were to move it. Even that little bit to minus 210, I'm okay being at the under 9. So that's where we come out on that one, Daryl Turner. Certainly appreciate the question. Let's get back to your questions over on TikTok, Instagram Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Again, if you guys want to check out the picks we're making up on the big board, jump on over to YouTube as well as the research. But if you guys want to see every bet that I make every single day, DM me on Instagram, Buttfumble Sports on Instagram. I give out my picks every single day for free. It's just a principle that I have. I never think you guys should be paying for picks. So make sure you guys DM me on Instagram, and that way you can get every pick I make every day for free. A lot of transparency behind them. That way you never miss it. Daily Sports 31 is letting all of you guys out there know there's a great trend involving Ari McDonald, under 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 19.5 straight games. Daily Sports 31, thanks so much for the info. For those that are watching, check them out over on Instagram. Daily Sports 31, thanks for sharing it. I'm a big believer. If you guys know of a good trend, if you saw something on social media, if you did research on your own, share it. Let us know. We're all in the same boat, all talking sports. So hopefully you guys are open to sharing what you see. Maybe there's a good trend that you come across. Twin Dad 2 is asking about the Phillies game. Phillies on the money line and the under is the question. First things first, I'll actually talk about the weather in that game first. Phillies game in Chicago, likelihood of home runs is way up. Wind is blowing out to left center. Should be a good night for home runs there at Wrigley. Overall runs, not so much. So let's check it out. Now, specifically, Twin Dad 2 is asking about Phillies money line and the under. We start by using Outlier, which is a research app that we use that allows us to first look at the market behind these games, understand where the money's being spent. So interestingly enough, you're onto something here, Twin Dad 2. 60% of the tickets are on the Cubs to win, but 96% of the money is on the Phillies to win. So the money coming down very heavily on the Phillies, despite the fact that there are more tickets actually being bet on the Cubs. Boss GBG is thinking the Cubs are going to get the win. So we have a discrepancy here between public tickets and money being spent. Interestingly enough, we have a similar discrepancy on the run line, which really goes to show people are looking for value. Phillies being plus 108 on the money line, there's value there. Cubs at minus 1.5 is available at plus 158. There's value there. So we're seeing discrepancy in tickets and in money. That tells you that this game is actually a good one for sports bettors. As for the total, it's right now set at 9.5. So interestingly enough, the under is getting a bit of love there. 55% of the tickets and the money are on the over. Kind of interesting that at 9.5, the over is only getting 5% more than the majority rather. Now that we've talked about it, really interesting trend I actually wanted to bring up first involved the Cubs. The Cubs at home on a Tuesday are undefeated. They are 6-0 straight up. Interesting trend. I'm not saying it means anything, but every time we see a trend, especially one that's undefeated, we always want to make you aware of it. The Chicago Cubs, when they've played at home on a Tuesday this year, they're undefeated. They're 6-0 straight up. Kind of interesting. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. Let's dive into it, though, in terms of whether the Phillies are a good play. Phillies on the road, first game of a series. How have they been under that scenario so far this year? They're 9-3 straight up, 8-4 on the run line. Over's been slightly better at 7-5. Now, when the Phillies are a road underdog, however, first game of a series, only 1-1. So despite having this phenomenal record, that's when they're a road favorite. They're a road dog today. That certainly stands out to me. The over is 2-0 when they've had a first game of a series as a road dog. Let's take a look at when the total has been greater or equal to 9.5 for the Phillies. So far this year, here's one that Twin Dad 2 will love. When the total is 9.5 or more for the Phillies, they're actually 7-3 favoring the under. So your under find could be a good play. When that 9.5 comes on the road, under's 2-1. Wish that was slightly better, but not bad. By the way, Phillies are 1-2 under that scenario. 9.5 run total or higher on the road. Those other games all came against the Rockies. How about when it's exactly 9.5 and they play on the road? Again, just happened once, came against the Rockies. So not too much we can take from it. When the Phillies are a road dog and they're playing on 1 day of rest so far this year, hasn't happened yet. Tonight will be the first game this year. Phillies are a road dog on 1 day of rest. When they just play on the road on 1 day of rest, 3-0 straight up. So interesting, the Cubs are undefeated at home on a Tuesday. Phillies on 1 day of rest playing on the road are 3-0 straight up. So reason to see both sides of it. Let's flip it over to the Cubs. When the Cubs have had a total, let's say their total is greater than or equal to 9.5, and they are a home favorite so far this year. 2-2 straight up, 2-2 on the over-under, so nothing we can take from that. How about when they're in the first game of a series and they're a home favorite? Under that scenario, the Cubs so far this season, 3-7 straight up, 2-8 on the run line. Yuck. Over-under 7-3. Man, the Cubs have won just one game in their last 7 as a home favorite to open up a series. There's reason for me to believe in the Phillies on this one. Twin Dad 2, I love the picks. I'll take Phillies on the money line. Really, I'd like the Phillies. If I'm going to put it up on the board, I take Phillies plus 1.5 as a bit of a cop-out. But I think Phillies on the money line might be a better play. Before we dive into complete the pick, though, let's take a look at the starting pitcher for the Cubs. Starting pitcher for the Cubs, Hayden Wesneski. When he pitches at home so far this year, 0-2 straight up. The under is 2-0. Twin Dad 2, I like the plays. I'm going to go with it. I'll take the Phillies. I'll take the Phillies at the plus 1.5. I'm just going to cop out there. But I'd also take the Phillies. I'd take the Cubs. And I'd take the under. Under 9.5 feels about right. If you wanted to move it a little bit, I completely understand why. But as of right now, I like the under 9.5, and I'll just take it as where it's being offered. The under 9.5 right now is at minus 118. If you wanted to move it to under 10.5 and make it a parlay leg, I certainly understand. I'll even put that up on the board so you can see it. Under 10, make it the leg of a parlay. But I think Twin Dad 2, you're certainly on to something there. Daily Sports 31 wants to know about that Red Sox and Marlins game. So the starter for the Marlins hasn't made a start in his career, so we're going to have to look for it on the Cutter Crawford side. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the market for this game. Red Sox right now getting 83% of the tickets, 80% of the money, but the spread is heavily favoring the Marlins when it comes to the run line. Marlins plus 115 is getting 48% of the money despite only getting 17% of the tickets. When we see that, that stands out to us. That certainly tells us that the money knows something that we don't. So I'm just kind of going to keep that in the back of my mind as we build out the hypothesis of how to maybe play this game. consider the Marlins maybe. Consider the Marlins at +1.5 as we start. By the way, the under getting a little bit more money, so we'll keep our eye on that one as well. When the Red Sox play on Tuesdays on the road, they're 4-2 straight up, but only 2-4 on the run line. Love seeing that as we build out again that hypothesis. Marlins at home on a Tuesday, 3-3 straight up, 2-4 on the run line. Red Sox on the road on 1 day of rest so far this year, 1-3 straight up, 1-3 on the run line, and the under is 3-1. So immediately where we start our analysis goes with the hypothesis we made. The only win they have on the road on 1 day of rest came back on April 5th of this year against the Angels, an 8-6 win. Cutter Crawford was on the mound for that one. Cutter Crawford has actually been on the mound now for 4 of the 5 games under this scenario. Tonight will be the 4th of the 5th. Will be 4 of 5 games under this scenario. He has pitched in all, and 4. The only one he didn't was Tanner Houck. So again, under Red Sox not covering certainly stands out. How about the Marlins? Marlins' first game of a series, playing on the road, playing at home as an underdog. 4-5 straight up, but the Marlins are 6-3 on the run line. First game of a series as a home dog. Again, that's 6-3 on the run line. The over has been better at 6-3. Really quick, when they've played under the scenario and the opposing team has a winning record or has a record above 500, they're 2-3 straight up, 3-2 on the run line, over slightly better at 3-2. How about when the Marlins are at home and they're on 1 day of rest? Under that scenario, 4-4 straight up, 3-5 on the run line, over under favored the over slightly at 5-3. Let's get back to looking at the starting pitchers. I mentioned the Marlins starting pitcher, no history, but Cutter Crawford. When Cutter Crawford's pitched on the road this year, Red Sox are 2-5 straight up, 3-4 on the run line. Over under actually favors the under as well at 4-2-1. The Red Sox have lost 4 straight games with Cutter Crawford on the mound on the road. When he has pitched as a road favorite so far this year, 1-2 straight up, the over slightly better at 2-1. When the Marlins have faced a right-handed pitcher at home so far this year, Marlins 13-15 straight up, 12-16 on the run line. The over-under is what I was actually focused on. When the Marlins play at home against a right-handed starting pitcher, the over is 20-17. That's actually the best over percentage in all of baseball when they are a home dog against a right-handed starting pitcher. The over-under is 14-4-1. You heard that correct. That's an incredible over percentage. How about this? First game of a series at home as an underdog against a right-handed starting pitcher. Under that scenario, the Marlins, the over's 4-2. I like the under, but based on what we just dove into, I'm probably not going to touch this one. I like the Marlins to cover. I like Marlins +1.5. Marlins have been playing some surprising ball at times this year. I'll take the Marlins +1.5, keeping it a close game. I know that's probably not what a lot of people would expect, but basing it just on what we looked at, I'll take the Marlins. Marlins +1.5. Call me crazy. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. Love talking sports with all of you guys. Daryl Turner knows what I'm talking about that Red Sox play. Sal was asking about the was asking about Twins and Tigers, no run in the first inning. Let's talk about some no run in the first inning plays. So first inning run plays, let's give out a couple of games that I think are going to have a run in the first inning, and those I don't. First one, I will take Astros, Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Astros, Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Really quick, something cool we can actually look at on killersports.com. Let's take a look at the Astros really quick. Now, Astros and Blue Jays played yesterday. Astros are a road dog today. When the Astros are a road dog, Interestingly enough, there is an average of over 1 run per game in the first inning. Kind of interesting there. I do think there's going to be no run in the first inning here with Jose Barrios on the mound. I'll just put it up on the board. Astros, Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Astros, Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Next game that I like for a run in the first inning or no run in the first inning, I'm going to take Phillies. I'll actually put this under the Phillies. I like Phillies, Cubs, no run in the first inning. Phillies, Cubs, no run in the first inning. So again, a couple of NRFI plays. Phillies, Cubs, no run in the first inning for Phillies and Cubs. And for Astros and Blue Jays, no run in the first inning for that one as well. One game I do like to have some offense, at least in the first inning. Rays, Royals. Rays and Royals, yes to a run in the first inning. Rays, Royals, yes to a run in the first inning for that game. Got another one for you. Brewers and Rockies. Brewers and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. So 2 YRF plays, Rays and Royals, Brewers and Rockies. Both of those games, I think, get a run in the first inning. I've got 2 more for you. I've got Angels and Athletics. Angels and A's, I'll say no run in the first inning. Angels and A's, no run in the first inning for Angels and A's. Last one, I think Diamondbacks and Dodgers does get a run in the first inning. So Diamondbacks and Dodgers, we're going to put that one up on the board. Diamondbacks and Dodgers, yes to a run in the first inning. So a quick recap of our NRF plays, our NRFI plays are Phillies and Cubs. Phillies and Cubs, no run first inning. Astros, Blue Jays, no run first inning. Angels, Athletics, no run first inning. Games we think will have a run in the first inning. You guys ready for that? We're going with Rays and Royals, yes to a run in the first inning for Rays and Royals. We have Brewers and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning for Brewers and Rockies. Diamondbacks and Dodgers, yes to a run in the first inning for Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Appreciate you guys watching the show. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live and never miss the chance to join the show, join the conversation. Ricky was asking about Twins and Tigers, no run in the first inning. All the other games are a bit of a coin flip to me. So I just gave out the games that I think are going to have a run or have no run in the first inning. Other than that, I feel like the other games are a bit of a coin flip, so I'm a bit more hesitant to give those out. Appreciate you guys being with us. Diego is asking for a rant. Paul George to Philly is a rant that I promised you guys I'd bring up. NBA free agency, I have to first say thank the NBA schedulers. I love free agency being where it is. We have this lull after the NHL Stanley Cup final, after the NBA finals, where you just don't have a lot of activity across the sports world. Fortunately, we have the Euros going on during the day here in the States, which is awesome. We have Wimbledon if you're into the early rounds of that. But the NBA free agency provides some news in days that would otherwise be occupied by just Major League Baseball. It's kind of nice to be able to talk another sport during this time. Paul George to Philly makes a lot of sense in terms of their lineup construction, what Nick Nurse wants to do. Embiid's going to dominate the post. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey is going to be the primary ball handler at the point guard position. They needed a 3-and-D guy, a long wing defender who can guard the Jaylen Browns and the Jason Tatums of the world. And I think Paul George fits in perfectly. Here's my one issue. Injuries. At this point in Paul George's career, I know it's not just the one devastatingly freak injury that he had in Indiana. The guy hasn't been able to stay on the floor to the level that I think he'll need to, and Joel Embiid is already someone who struggles to be on the floor. Do I think this is a really good big three in the Eastern Conference? I do, but again, I just question whether this team can stay healthy, given the fact that if Embiid goes away and is injured, it's not like Kristaps Porzingis gets injured, and the Celtics can keep winning because they're so balanced, so talented, so deep. If Embiid gets hurt, it doesn't matter if they have Paul George or not. Tyrese Maxey and Paul George cannot carry the 76ers to a finals. So I love the move. I think it's a great pickup. I think it makes a lot of sense. Home run, A+, bravo for Philadelphia and the 76ers. But the point stays the point. The theme stays the theme. What's important is still important. If Joel Embiid cannot stay healthy, and I am talking 90-95% healthy, then the 76ers will not make an NBA Finals, let alone win one. So that's my rant on that. For 76ers fans who feel differently, shout me out, let me know. Okay, a couple of people were asking about that Padres game. Let's get back to doing our sports betting research. We're going to focus on the Padres game now. Padres-Rangers is a battle of two starting pitchers that, from a brand name perspective, very strong. Are they still the aces they once were? That's very much what's debatable at this point. Padres have Dylan Cease on the mound. Rangers have Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for this one. Looking at the market for this game, 64% of the tickets are on the Rangers. 66% of the money is on the Padres. Very interesting discrepancy there. As for the run line, Padres are actually outpacing the Rangers. Padres are a slight favorite in terms of Padres are getting the -1.5, but you're getting it at +165. So pretty much an even game on this one, pretty darn close. Over/under is set at 7.5. Personally, I can already tell you I lean towards the over, but we'll dive into some of the trends now. When the Padres have been on the road so far this year on a Tuesday, again, maybe this trend matters, maybe it doesn't. I tell you guys all this just from as much an entertainment standpoint as anything else. The Padres, from a winning percentage, have the worst record in Major League Baseball on Tuesdays when they play on the road. They're on the road tonight. So far this year, they are 1-5 straight up on Tuesdays on the road. Does that trend continue? Does it balance itself out a bit with a win? Who knows? Now they're 3-3 on the run line, but 1-5 on the straight up money line trend. As for the over/under, 4-2 favoring the under when they play on a Tuesday on the road. Now, the Texas Rangers, you'll be happy to know, are the third worst team on Tuesdays at home so far this year. They're 2-5 straight up on Tuesdays at home. They are 3-4 on the run line. Under has been better at 4-2-1. So two teams who have not played well on this day of the week, given their current locations. Let's take a look at the Padres, though. Padres' first game of a series when they play on the road, first game of a series. So far this year, they're actually 8-5, so a nice record. 9-4 on the run line. Under's been slightly better at 7-6, just slightly. Padres are just 1-3 in their last 4 games on the road to start a series, but they've covered the spread in 3 of those 4 games. That's if you're taking them at a +1.5. That's not what's being offered on a number of sports books. You'd have to move that line just slightly. Let's look at it from the Rangers' point of view. When the Rangers are at home, first game of a series so far this year, Rangers are 6-7 straight up, 4-9 on the run line. So while the Padres are 9-4 on the run line, Rangers 4-9 on the run line. Again, that's if we make the Padres a +1.5. And just to give you guys a sense of what that market is, if I make the Padres a +1.5, right now you could get them at -250. So not a lot of value there. Maybe one of the reasons why the Padres on the money line is getting as much love as it is because the trends are backing the Padres a little bit more than the Rangers. Now, let's just take a look at the two starting pitchers really quick. Nathan Eovaldi. Let's see how the Rangers have done when Eovaldi has taken the mound so far this year. 7-6 straight up, 5-8 on the run line. Again, Rangers on the run line, not a pleasant sight. When Eovaldi has pitched at home, 6-2 straight up, 4-4 on the run line. Thanks, IP Shade. Here's a note about the over/under. When Nathan Eovaldi has pitched at home this year, the under is 6-1-1. So the under has been a very strong play. Now, ironically, the under hasn't hit in his last 2 starts at home. It was a push and the over. But in those 2 games, the highest run total that there's been in a Nathan Eovaldi home game is 9 runs. So under 9.5 right now is undefeated when Eovaldi pitches at home. I know the over-under set at 7.5. I'm just calling out where I see opportunity. Let's look at Dylan Cease. When Dylan Cease has pitched for the Padres this year, 10-7 straight up, 11-6 on the run line. So again, strong run line trend when he's pitched on the road so far this year. 6-3 straight up, 7-2 on the run line. So Dylan Cease, now he's lost his last 2 starts, but prior to that, he had won 7 straight road starts for the Padres. Really love to see it. The under has been slightly better at 5-4. As of right now, I like the Padres at the +1.5. I understand, frankly, I see value in the Rangers at +1.5 as well. But if I had to put anything up on the board for this game, I'm going to take the Padres at +1.5. I understand that would just be a parlay play, and I'll indicate it as such. But Padres +1.5 to me is the one I have the most confidence in, just based on what I'm seeing. Appreciate you guys being with us and joining the show. Hope you guys are enjoying the content, the conversation. If you are, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're with us every time we're live. We're live almost every single day, talking sports, sports betting research, fantasy sports. This is why I started this company, Butt Fumble Sports. Yes, I really did start a company called Butt Fumble Sports. We just love talking sports every day. So every opportunity we can to come on TikTok Live, Instagram Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, that's what we do. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, and that way you never miss a show. You're with us every time that we come on, and that way you can get your questions in, hear the conversation, obviously get whatever you need from us as a sports fan. If there are rants that you guys care about, let us know. Second breakfast, I'm going to check on that, okay? I'll talk to the guys at SHARPZ just to let them know. In fact, I'm going to screenshot you real quick. I'm just going to screenshot that just so I can share that with them. But I'll let them know, second breakfast. Appreciate it. Andrew, appreciate the kind words, buddy. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. No matter where you guys are, I hope you're having a great day. Daryl Turner, thoughts on the over-under for the Orioles game? Orioles and Mariners, that game, a late start, 9:40 out in Seattle. George Kirby, Grayson Rodriguez. Let's go look at that game now that we've gone through the Padres game. Orioles, they're getting a bit more love from the money tonight. 68% of the tickets, 81% of the money. As for the run line, Orioles are the favorite on this one. 87% of the tickets, 89% of the money coming down on the Orioles. Total right now is set at 7 runs. I'm actually seeing in some places it's set at 6.5. 94% of the tickets are on the over. Interestingly enough, only 89% of the money. So there is some money actually coming down on the under. When the Orioles play on the road on a Tuesday so far this year, Orioles are 2-4 straight up, 2-4 on the run line. Under's been slightly better at 3, 2-1, just kind of interesting to note. Other side of things, when the Mariners have played at home this year on a Tuesday, Mariners under that scenario, 4-2 straight up, 3-3 on the run line. As for the over-under, really interesting trend, everybody. We've got a trend for you. The Mariners on Tuesdays at home have hit the under every time. The under is 5-0-1 when the Mariners play on Tuesday at home. Who knows why? We're going to dive into the trends to try to understand it, but Mariners have not hit the over in any game at Tuesday at home so far this year. Let's dive into it. Mariners at home, first game of a series this year. Mariners are 12-1. Unbelievable. First game of a series at home. The Mariners are 12-1. That is remarkable. Their only loss actually came in their first game of the year. Home opener against the Red Sox was a 6-4 loss. Since then, the Mariners are 12-0 straight up on the money line at home, first game of a series. That's got to be one of the best trends across MLB so far this year. 12 straight wins at home to start a series. Let's take a look at it from the Orioles side of things. Orioles on the road. First game of a series, 7-5 straight up, 7-5 on the run line. When they are a road favorite, first game of a series, Orioles 6-3 straight up, 6-3 on the run line. When the Mariners have been a home dog, first game of a series at home, obviously they're 3-0. But importantly to note, the under is 3-0 as well. When the Mariners are a home dog this year, the under is 6-1. The under is 6-1 when the Mariners are a home dog. Wow. We're seeing some trends here tonight from this game that are just really standout. So Mariners at home, first game of a series, they have a 12-game winning streak. They have George Kirby on the mound. Let's take a look at how George Kirby has done when he's pitched at home so far this year. George Kirby in Seattle, 6-1 straight up. His only loss came in his second start of the year against the Guardians back on April 3rd. Since then, he's won 5 straight games at home. And in fact, the Mariners have covered 4 of those 5 games. So very interesting to note. On the other side of things, Grayson Rodriguez is on the mound for the Orioles. So far this year, when Grayson Rodriguez has pitched, Orioles are 10-4. But when he's pitched on the road, 5-2 straight up, 5-2 on the run line. We have a conflict of trends right now. When Grayson Rodriguez pitches on the road, the over has hit in 6 straight games. Over's hit in 6 straight games so far this year. The only time it didn't hit, his first road start, the under hit against the Pirates back on April 5th. Now, the total for this game, we mentioned, ridiculously low at 7 runs. I just want to see, when the Mariners have had a total of 7 runs or less, they've actually added a number of times so far this year. The Mariners have had a total of 7 runs or less 28 times this year. That feels really high. Wow. They are 19-9 straight up. The under is 15-10-3. Kind of surprising that the under's been so good. When the total's been 7 runs or less and they're at home, they're 16-6 straight up. They're 11-11 on the run line, but the under is 14-7-1. When the Mariners are a home dog and the total is 7 runs or less, 2-1 straight up. The under's 2-1. I'm going to take the Mariners on this one. I'm taking Mariners on the money line. Mariners on the money line. Really, I like the Mariners at the +1.5. I can get that, so I'll take it. I'll take Mariners on the money line, and I'll take the Mariners at +1.5. That'd be a parlay play for me. And I like the under in this game. I just do. Orioles, Mariners. I'll take the under. I'm gonna make sure that I'm buying that. I'm raising the ceiling on that just slightly. I'll take it at 8.5, and it'll be a parlay play. But under 8.5 right now, that's what I'd take. I just don't see a lot of runs. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I've got the Mariners winning. I have the Mariners covering as well, so that's where we come out on that one. Daily Sports 31 letting us know Seattle has the most strikeouts in right-handed pitching, averaging 9.4 per game. Great call out by Daily Sports. Daily Sports 31. Go check them out on Instagram. By the way, just like we called out Daily Sports 31, if any of you guys have a trend that you guys care about, we'll definitely dive into it for you. Okay, Ricky 4 someone's asking, Jansen is asking about Judge. Okay, let's look at Aaron Judge, since someone is hell-bent on getting some Aaron Judge player prop bet view in. So first things first, Aaron Judge, his history against Graham Ashcraft. Aaron Judge has never faced him. Would be his first at-bat of his career tonight. Against right-handed pitching, he is hitting .316 this year. Against right-handed pitching over his last 10 games, he has a hit in 8 of his last 10 games. He actually has a multi-hit game in back-to-back games against a right-handed starter. At home, Aaron Judge has a hit in 9 of his last 10 games against a right-handed starter. Over his last 20 games at home against a right-handed starting pitcher, Aaron Judge has a hit in 18 of the last 20 games. You can put this one up on the board. Love Aaron Judge over half a hit. Personally, I like Aaron Judge over half a hit run and RBI as well. But yes, I do like Aaron Judge tonight. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's hitting so well against right-handed starting pitching. Graham Ashcraft, his ERA right now is 5.45. Really quick, let's take a look at Graham Ashcraft. Let's just do a bit of research since we're already talking about this game. Graham Ashcraft, when he's pitched on the road so far this year, Reds are 3-5 straight up. They're actually 5-3 on the run line. The over is 6-2. Specifically, kind of lower scoring actually I've seen in the first few innings. But that said, let's take a look at Graham Ashcraft really quick. When he faces the Yankees, has he ever faced the Yankees in his career? Probably not if Judge wasn't in, unless it was last year. He did have a start against the Yankees 2 years ago. 4-3 win, actually. It came on the road at Yankee Stadium against Garrett Cole, so kind of interesting there. What is partially interesting about it is obviously Aaron Judge did not play in that game, but he does have a win against the Yankees in his career. So there you go. Graham Ashcraft, when he pitches as an underdog this year, Reds are 2-5 straight up. They've won their last 2 under that scenario. Prior to that, they were 0-5. On the other side, Luis Gil. Luis Gil was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball early on this season, has since really crapped out, has pitched really poorly of late. In his last 2 starts, the Yankees gave up 17 and 12 runs, just brutal losses. But he's still 12-4 so far this year. And at home, he's 7-1 straight up, 6-2 on the run line. Again, that only loss came to the Orioles. It did come in his last start. With that said, I don't know why it keeps doing that. With that said, let's dive into this game from a trend standpoint. When the Yankees are at home, first game of a series, and they're a home favorite. So far this year, Yankees are 7-4 straight up under that scenario. Under's actually been better. Under's been 8-3 when the Yankees open up a series as a home favorite. On the other side, the Reds opening up a series on the road as an underdog. First game of the series, they're 6-4 straight up, 8-2 on the run line. So the Reds have been better covering that run line than you might expect. Over's been 7-3. Quickly looking at the weather for this game at Yankee Stadium. Likelihood of home runs up 4%. Likelihood of overall runs down 3. Wind should be blowing about right to left across the stadium. Think first to third base. Should be a warm day, but is it enough to get us excited about the over? I lean towards yes. I'll take the Yankees on the money line. Let me throw these up here. I'm taking Yankees on the money line. If you told me the Reds covered, I wouldn't be shocked. So I'm letting you guys know now. I kind of like the fact. Let's take a look at the market actually really quick before we put it up on the board. Market for this game, 96% of the money on the Yankees to win, 98% of the money on the Yankees to cover. Okay, but I think you might have some value there on the Reds plus 1.5. Just keep your eye on it. Reds plus 1.5. It's not on my big board, but I've got my eye on it. As for the total, Reds, Yankees, I'm taking the over. Reds, Yankees, I'll take the over 7.5. You can get over 7.5 for this one at minus 160. Think that's a great value. So Reds, Yankees, over 7.5 for that one. Reds, Yankees, over 7.5. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We've been live for just under an hour, so we have a little bit of time left. Make sure you get your questions in. Someone's asking about Gil on walks. We haven't done too many walk player prop bets of late, but let's get at it, everybody. Do we like Luis Gil to go over his walks allowed total? It's set at 2.5 right now. Don't love that at home this year. He's only gone over that total one time. So I would say no. I don't love going over the 2.5. Again, only over that once in his last 5 games at home. Overall, he has hit it in 3 of his last 5. So I understand why you're pushing on it. But If you could get over 1.5, I do it. Over 2.5 doesn't feel like a great play. Okay, quick recap of the picks we put up on the board. Again, for a reminder for all the folks watching the show, if you want every bet that I make every day for free, I make them available for you guys every day. They're never behind a paywall. You never get charged for them. There's a lot of transparency behind every pick that I make and showing them to you guys every day. So all you have to do is DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is ButtFumbleSports, the name of my handle, ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram. I'll give you guys free access to my picks every single day because that's how it should be. I'm not a sports book. I don't work for a sports book. I give away my picks every day because I just love doing research, and you guys should get access to it. You guys work hard. You guys should be spending your money on bets or entertainment, not on someone's picks. So I give those away for free. I certainly appreciate when you guys contribute to the show or subscribe or follow, but I'm never going to charge for my picks. That's a promise I make from me to you. So every time I give out my picks for free, you guys know I'm going to do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. If you do want access to my picks, just DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. Now, we are going to recap the picks we've done so far on the show in case you guys have missed any of them, okay? So listen up right now. Here's a recap of all the picks, okay? Listen up, everybody. Listen up, okay? Dodgers on the money line. Dodgers on the money line. Cardinals and Pirates under 9. Cardinals and Pirates under 9. Phillies plus 1.5. Phillies plus 1.5. Phillies and Cubs under 9.5. Phillies and Cubs under 9.5. We have the Phillies and Cubs, no run in the first inning. Phillies and Cubs, no run in the first inning. Marlins plus 1.5. We have the Marlins plus 1.5. We have the Padres plus 1.5. Padres plus 1.5. We have the Mariners plus 1.5, but I also think the Mariners could win. So Mariners plus 1.5, the safer play, but I could see the Mariners winning. Orioles and Mariners under 8.5. Orioles and Mariners under 8.5. We have Yankees on the money line. Yankees on the money line. We have Reds and Yankees over 7.5. Reds and Yankees over 7.5. We have Astros and Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Astros and Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. Rays and Royals, yes to a run in the first inning. Rays and Royals, yes to a run in the first inning. Brewers and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. Brewers and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. Angels and Athletics, no run in the first inning. Angels, Athletics, no run in the first inning. Diamondbacks and Dodgers, yes to a run in the first inning. Diamondbacks and Dodgers, yes to a run in the first inning. Only did one player prop bet so far. That's Aaron Judge over half a hit. Aaron Judge over half a hit is another pick we've put up on the board. That's a recap of all the picks we've done during the show so far. Again, if you want every pick I make for free, just DM me on Instagram. They're available on the SHARPZ app. Think of SHARPZ like a bulletin board for sports betting. Every time I place a bet, it automatically shows up on that bulletin board so you guys can look through them every day. They're always available. They're always for free. They're never behind a paywall. So if you guys want to check it out, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. By the way, Ricky, I love Jorge Soler today. That's actually a player that I bet on earlier today. Jorge Soler, someone I'm very big into because he has great numbers against the starting pitcher he'll be facing this evening. He's going up against Reynaldo Lopez of the Atlanta Braves. Jorge Soler, over half a hit is a play I really like. He has a hit in 4 of his last 5 games against a right-handed starter, 3 of his last 4 against a right-handed starter on the road. Just a hit in 3 of his last 7. Oh, that's against the Braves, actually. Sorry, Jorge Soler on the road against a right-handed pitcher. He has a hit in 9 of his last 10 games. 9 of his last 10 games on the road against a righty, he has a hit. 17 of his last 20 games on the road against a right-handed starter, he has a hit. And against Reynaldo Lopez, he has 19 at-bats. He is hitting .632. Jorge Soler owns Reynaldo Lopez. Owns him. He got a collar and leash for that bitch. Jorge Soler is hitting .632 in 19 at-bats. It includes 3 home runs. His OPS against Reynaldo Lopez is 1.930. That is beating that ass ownership. Absolutely love Jorge Soler tonight. Jorge Soler, over half a hit. I'm all about it. But again, this is one over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I do as well. If you told me Jorge Soler went yard, I would not be shocked. So Ricky, Jorge Soler is one of my favorite plays of the day. Absolutely love it. Great call by you, buddy. Pat Sox 26, you know we're about it. Appreciate you watching the show. Hope you're enjoying life. Michael Sampson is asking about, what about those Mets? Does Grimace have some magic tonight? Mets, Nationals, Sean Manaea on the mound, DJ Herz on the mound. Let's take a look at it, everybody. When the Mets have been on the road on a Tuesday so far this year, 3-3 straight up, 4-2 on the run line. Here's one note, though. The Mets actually have the best over percentage when they play on the road on Tuesdays. Who knew? 4-1-1 favoring the over when the Mets play on the road on a Tuesday. Just kind of interesting. How about on the other side of things? When the Nationals play at home on a Tuesday, the Nationals are 1-4 straight up, 1-4 on the run line on Tuesdays at home. Again, you may go, who cares? That's a random that's a random trend. Why does that matter? It's just a bit of history playing out. Nationals 1-4 straight up, 1-4 on the run line when they play at home on a Tuesday. By the way, the under is 3-1-1. Let's take a look at this from a Mets point of view. When the Mets open up a series, they played yesterday. In Washington. When they're coming off an away win, and then they're an away favorite the following game, Mets are 3-3 straight up, 2-4 on the run line. Over is slightly better at 3-2-1. When the Nationals play as a home dog the day after a home loss, Nationals 6-8 straight up, 8-6 on the run line. The only trend that stands out, the under is 11-2-1 when the Nationals are a home dog the day after, the game after they have a home loss. So the under, a very strong play here. Under, and by the way, the total for this game is set at 9.5. Let's dive into the market really quick for this one. The under could turn into one of my favorite plays of the day just based on what we're seeing. Right now, the Mets are getting 98% of the money to win. The total for this is 9. The money's coming down on the under. 37% of the money on the under. It opened at 9.5, has come down to 9. I like the under 9.5 a frickin' ton. Let's put that one up on the board right now. We are going to take the Mets and the Nationals, and we're going to take under 9.5. That's got to be one of my favorite plays of the day, just based on the trends we're looking at. Mets, Nationals, under 9.5. Really quick, let's look at it from a pitching perspective. DJ Herz on the mound for the Nationals. Over has been 3-1-1 in his start so far this year. At home, though, 1-1-1. The over's been better when he's been on the road. How about Sean Manaea? When Sean Manaea pitches on the road so far this year, Mets are 5-1 straight up, 5-1 on the run line, and the over-under 3-3, so flat across the board on that. I kind of like the Mets on the money line, and I like the under, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll take Mets on the money line, and I'm going to take the under 9.5. That's Mets money line, under 9.5 for Mets and Nationals. Cody is asking about Tovar. Let's take a look at Ezequiel Tovar. Brewers, Rockies, game we're looking at. At least from a player prop bet standpoint. There were a couple players I really like from this game. I'll mention them. Tovar, against left-handed pitching, he's hitting .283, so really strong. But in his last 10 games against the left-handed starter, he only has a hit in 4 of the last 10. Has gone over 1.5 hits in 4 of his last 10. You're asking about a home run. He has a home run in just one of his last 10 games against the lefty, one of his last 20 games at home. He has just one home run in his last 20 games at home against the left-handed starter. If he hits it, forgive me, Cody. I'm sorry I pointed you in the wrong direction, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. Players I do like tonight, though, Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is scorching hot right now, and he's got a great history against Dallas Keuchel. 429 average, includes a home run. Keep your eye on Brendan Rodgers tonight. Over half a hit, absolutely. Over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs if you can find it. Brendan Doyle is also hitting the ball very well. He hits Dallas Keuchel well. I like Brendan Rodgers more. On the other side of things, Bryce Terang was another player that I had my eye on. Bryce Terang hits Ryan Feltner really well against right-handed pitching, hitting .293. So Brendan Rodgers and Bryce Terang are two hitters that I like for that game. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you're with us every time we go live. Hit that follow button. That way you never miss our show. Really love being with you guys every chance we get. So make sure you guys follow us and make sure you're with us every time we're live. That way you can talk sports with us every day. I love talking sports with you guys. By the way, just to give a quick rant on, again, if you didn't hear my take earlier in the show, HBO Hard Knocks, I can't wait for training camp. That's the real Hard Knocks to me. But this off-season training camp, off-season Hard Knocks rather, looks spectacular. Following the New York Giants, it's on HBO tonight. Make sure you check it out. Appointment viewing for me. If you're a big sports fan, I don't feel like there's anything else that we get access to. We get so much on-the-field access compared to what we used to, but behind the scenes, that's what I'm really into these days, hearing about those GM conversations. How do they get done? How does the deal get done? And we get a glimpse of that over the course of this series. How did the Giants land on their draft pick, Malik Neighbors? How did they make the deal for Brian Burns? How are they making decisions about their roster? Really cool to be able to dive into that over the next few weeks. Again, all of our picks are available for free on the SHARPZ app. I'm going to post all of these picks right now, so DM me on Instagram. If you missed any of our picks during the show, DM me on Instagram to get every pick that we make every single day for free. I will be live at 4:30 tomorrow, everybody. 4:30 tomorrow. So make sure you join us. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that follow button, and that way you're with us when we go live tomorrow at 4:30. Hope you guys enjoyed the content and the show. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy a full night of sports action. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you, everybody. Goodbye.